Good morning, friends. How are y'all today? This is Tara with Tara's Whimsies Fakery. I'm working hard on my little Mocha Almond Fudge sundaes. Let me get this one in the picture. This one is not even 3/4 done. It's about halfway done. What I did, I showed in a short how I was putting clay in between my scoops because my scoops weren't big enough. So I put my clay, because everything's made of foam clay anyway, except for the drip. So I put my clay around there, and then I brushed it all the same color because I wasn't able to match it perfectly, and I'm really wanting to stick with this color. So I blended everything together so you get a nice, cohesive look. And then I dripped my fudge on, and I added, as I put my clay in, I added my little nuts and my little chocolate pieces. And then I put my cookie in and a macaron. And my macarons aren't perfect, but this down here will be covered like this one. It'll be tucked down into the chocolate whip. I created these whips with foam clay. Everything is foam clay. I really want to try and stick with just the foam clay. I'm probably going to use spackle too, but I want to ship my stuff and I just want it to be as secure as possible. I'm sure the spackle will be fine. I love using the spackle, so I'm just kind of, the jury's out for me on if I want to use the spackle or not. So my next, I'm definitely going to use spackle on cakes and cupcakes and things like that. But for my fake shakes, I'm loving the foam clay. I just love it. So anyway, I did, all the whip, just took little pieces and, created that ruffle. And these little doodads, I'm just calling them little accent pieces, I created with the Russian piping tips. And let me get one and show you how it works. I got my foam clay. I just took my foam clay and just get all the bubbles out as much as you can and get it smooth as possible. Doesn't have to be perfect. And you just stick it down in your, just like you would a piping tip if you were going to pipe your foam clay. And see, it's coming out like this. And I get it pretty high. You see how high I'm getting it? Go a little bit higher. And then I'm going to take, and I want to make sure that I'm pushing everything at the same time, or, going around, so I'm getting the same height. And then I take my scissors. Let me get my little scissors. But I just take my scissors, and they're a little dirty because I've been working. This one's a little bit harder to do because it wants to stick. So don't do the flower. It's not. Let me start over. And my scissors are dirty because last night I just was too tired to clean up. I'm trying to. This is the one that I made these doodads with. Let me clean my scissors real quick. So it comes up like this and kind of does a little spiral. And you can make it as big as you want or as little as you want. And then I come around and I go around it to get it to all come off at the same time. And then you take it and you just set it over to dry. And you're going to stick it down into stuff most likely. So I just tuck in those little tattered pieces, and there you have like a little swirl chocolate candy, so to speak. So, and I'll let it dry, and then I can put it on my, but I even made one that was kind of caramel looking. Excuse my mess. Kind of like a little caramel swirl in there. I mean, you could do these at Christmas. They could be red and white. You could do the green and white. It would be so cute to make these little swirls for, I just think they look like little confections. Okay, so that's that one tip I wanted to bring to you that I I don't know if anybody else is doing that, doesn't matter, but I just kind of discovered that on my own. I just experiment is what I'm doing. I experiment with everything that I've got and think, you know, and I don't know that saying, but it's like, you know, I can't go out and buy all the things, to all the molds and everything for all the confections, the candies that you could mold up. So I'm having to really be resourceful and look in my stash and see, you know, what do I have that I can make something look like a candy. And so that's how I came up with that. Inside my macaron, I put these little fillings, and I just mixed my caramel brown with the dark brown and white in the Bose foam clay, and got these little medallions to put in between my macarons. And then I made a fudge. I've got to glaze this because, you know, I want it to look glossy. I made a piece of fudge that I'm going to put in this larger one, and because it's a Mocha almond fudge. And then I'll do the whip and then the coffee beans. I've got to make more coffee beans. I'm out. And I just made the little coffee beans with some black and dark gray. I'm sorry, black and dark brown Bose clay. And I took my little tool, makes this little line like that. And you can kind of do it back and forth to make it look like a coffee bean. So that's what I did here. And I think it's pretty realistic. So my stuff, I like realistic, but I'm not overly concerned about that. I'm more about the whimsy and the drips and all the things. I just love all the things. So I like a little bit of realism with a lot of whimsy. So that's kind of my style. And I messed up this. I'm going to have to trim that off. Just do it like that. So, but I think it's coming along great. It's going a lot better than I thought it would. And actually, this is bigger than what I thought it was going to be when I originally started. So I'm really loving just the composition of it. I put some whip back here. This white that you're seeing in here, all in here, that is a caulk. I have an off-white caulk. I'm just using what I have, and I use the Sherwin-Williams brand. This is a Powerhouse. This is just leftover caulk from a job that we did a long time ago. So I have some extra, and so I use that to fill in where I don't have whip, my whip topping. And so I'll just paint that. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to paint it with the dark brown. I've got a burnt umber by Deco Art. I really love this color. It's probably one of my favorite colors to use. And you can add a little bit of black to it if it's not dark enough. Because that dark brown in the Bose clay is very dark brown. It's a very chocolatey. So I probably am... See, it's not quite as dark as the, that burnt umber is not quite as dark as the Bose clay. So I want to match it to my Bose clay. So I just put a little bit of black into that burnt umber to get that deep chocolatey look. And I had a little hole right here. So I filled that in with my caulk. Y'all have got to get you some caulk. I know there's a lot of fake bakers that use a caulk. But get you the caulk gun. This is called, I should say, this is called a caulk pew pew. But this helps you. I wish they made this smaller and the pew pew part smaller. So, but it's not cut too. But always cut your tip at an angle. If you have never worked with a caulk tube, and it's not perfect, but I take my little Sorry I'm all over the place this morning. That's just how I roll. I take my little utility blade and I come up, and you be careful, don't cut yourself, but you come up and you just come at an angle. I can go ahead and do that. And it comes off pretty easily, but my thing is not very sharp, so. But you just come up in an angle like that. And that way you get a nice good point to your your tip. Okay. And I secured, like this bean is secured with the caulk. I secured this with the caulk. I mean, it is excellent glue. It's in the middle of drying, so I'm not going to press on it very much. But that stuff is firm. Very firm. It's like a glue. But usually everything I do has super glue, and it'll have some caulk or hot glue. But I don't use a lot of hot glue on these, with the foam especially. Okay. So where was I? I was going to fill in this. Let me put my Bose clay back up. Let me get all this mess out of the way. I don't know if y'all are like me, but I've always got several tools out, and they always kind of roll around and get in the way. So I'm just mixing a little bit of the burnt umber with a touch of the black. Maybe 2 touches of black. I don't want it super black, but that Bose is pretty dark. It's probably going to be too black. Yeah. So I'm going to add in another touch of, there we go. And I just come in and paint my caulk once it's dry, which it is. Whoops. I've got some yard work I need to get out and do today. So I'm going to do that, and then this afternoon I'll get back in the art room and work some more. So I really want to get these done. If you get any white on anything, or you need to touch something up, paint goes right over the Bose clay. The acrylic, I use acrylic paints. Most fake bakers use acrylics, I've seen, which I love because I have been a decorative painter for a long time, so I have tons of acrylic paint. It's going to take 2 coats because this caulk is off-white, so. But you get the idea. So I just wanted to update y'all on what I've been doing and what I'm working on. And then next I'm going to start working on some patriotic themed fake bakes. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I have a container over there that I painted a long time ago, and I had an arrangement in it, but I think I'm going to turn it into a fake shake. I'm addicted to fake shakes. I think they're so fun. They're so cute. Or the fake ice creams. They're just so precious. I love them so much. Oh, let me show you another thing I've been working on that I just finished up, and I'm going to have to, and I just got paint on that. Don't do what I did. let me finish this part and then I'll show you my little cupcakes I've been working on. I need to get a smaller brush and not load it to the metal. It's not. And then I wouldn't get paint on everything. So we'll let that dry, and then I'll do a second coat, and then looking yummy. Okay, let me show you my other thing I'm working on, or have worked on, that I'm pretty much done with. I'm just going to put bows around them, around the, there we go. Can y'all see those? These are my little beachy cupcakes. This is obviously a sandhouse. A sandcastle. I hope it's obvious. And then this one has the little umbrella and a coconut drink, like a little pina colada, some sunglasses, a beach towel, and flip-flops. And those beach balls I was working on, they're not perfect, but they're cute. I mean, I just think it turned out cute. And this is the mold that I got at the Dollar Tree. And I used, on this mold, I used Model Magic, because the other, it just puffed up too much. The Bose clay, any of my other foam clays, they just puff up too much. And I really wanted that distinction there. I didn't want it super high. So this kind of kept the shape of the mold a lot better. And then let me find those other pieces. Put them away. I got some new boxes to organize in. I'll show you what the Model Magic does in those. I broke that one. But I did a starfish, a couple of starfishes. Now this is with the Bose clay, and this is with the Model Magic, and I'm not finished. I've got to put another coat of pink, the bright pink, on it. And then, oh no, here's this one. This is the Model Magic, and I could have swore I had another. I thought I had 3. Well, his tail broke off. I'm going to have to find it and fix that. I had 3 of these, and I don't know where the other one went. Huh. That's weird. Go figure. Yeah, he's not in here. Anyway, so you can kind of see the Model Magic does a better job in the molds, but it is brittle, so just got to be careful with that. This is the foam clay. So it did a nice job too. I just had to paint in a little bit more detail. So, all right, that's that. I just wanted to come on with a quick video, show y'all what I've been doing. And I hope y'all have a fabulous Tuesday and a fabulous rest of the week. I will see y'all later. Bye.